Good morning, everyone. Welcome to week 9 of Business Studies Online. Well done to everyone who did last week. Some really good work. Very impressive stuff that we're getting through. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. The 12 markers, you guys are stunning. Some of them have been the best ever. And the fact that you're asking questions and emailing and finding out how to structure it has been fantastic. So really well done. And we're carrying on with our international trade theme. We're looking at how countries work together a bit now. So, here we go. What I want to look at this week is trade blocks. So hopefully by the end of this week, you'll know what the term trade block is, understand why they exist, and be able to assess the impact of trade blocks on businesses. Notice the funny spelling of the word block there. It's not got a K on it. Now, starting off here by looking at this phrase from Mr. Titchband always uses of teamwork makes the dream work. Now, me and Miss Horn work together, and I think we've got a bit of a trade block going on. Now, what that means is that we share all our resources. If Miss Horn comes up with a great lesson, I use it. If I come up with a lesson, she uses it. And we work together, and I don't charge Miss Horn for using my lessons, and she doesn't charge me for using her lessons. It's all free movement. So there's a folder on the computer, and we can both go in there and take resources and use them to teach our classes. So we absolutely work together, and all our information flows between us very, very freely. Now, if another school came along, let's say St. Crispin's came knocking on the door saying, could we have all your lessons? We'd probably say, no, because, what do we get in return for that? Well, we will work together within ourselves, but we may not come to you. Now, this is essentially how the world works, that some countries get together and form a little group and say, all right, between us, we're going to sort this out. But anyone outside, we're going to have to think about and trade with it. And these trade blocks are groups of countries that work together. Now, trade blocks are all very different, but that's the essential thing, that they get together to work together as a group. Now, here is a map that I got that has loads of different trade blocks from across the world. You probably recognise in dark blue up here the European Union. That's the one we're in. I don't really want to focus on that too much today. It's kind of an extension task at the end, but I think we should take this opportunity to learn about different trade blocks from across the world. And out of date already from January, the North America Free Trade Agreement no longer exists. This is now the United States of Mexico-Canada Agreement. So let's just have a look at these things for a moment. Let's start with America. So America, we've got the Canada up here, the United States and Mexico. These are all the North American countries. And they are saying, do you know what? We're going to work together. In between us, we're going to have certain goods that can go over the border freely. We're going to have certain things that we can do with each other there's no one needs to worry about. Other things, we might stop at the border. We might say, we don't want that in our country. And they may, limit certain amounts that are coming in. But the same rules apply to everyone in this block. The same down here, we've got the African Union of many African countries that have joined in. So they've all got together and said, do you know what? We want things to be right. Let's work as a team. And so there are certain goods that can trade freely all amongst those countries. But if anything comes in from all outside of the world, they go, okay, let's have a look. We might not want your cheap wheat coming in. We kind of want to grow our own wheat. So we're not going to let that enter into our group of economies. So these are all groups, like me and Miss Horn working together to try and make sure that you guys get the best education. These guys are working together to make sure that their countries get the best, that they can trade freely. So what I want you to do today is to choose one of those blocks, not the EU, because you might know quite a bit about it. And the point of this is to find out about other trade blocks from around the world. So we've got here the USMCA, the Central American Integration System, the United Union of South American Nations, the Arab League, the African League, the South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. There's all of those across, and there's probably more, the smaller ones as well. Now, what I want you to do is choose one of those. I want you to research how they began. What were the motives? Were they driven by war, politics, just economics? What was the reason they began? I want you to find out which countries are members of that group. And then what do they want to achieve? They'll probably have more than one aim. So have a look at what is it that that group of countries wants to achieve. And then want you to make a judgment of how successful are they. Look at what they've achieved. Maybe read up on controversies. There's some that have many controversies. And then, yeah, make a judgment for yourself on how successful they are. Now, and as an extension here, I want you to go back, if you are interested, I want you to find out what the main advantages and disadvantages of the UK leaving the European Union. But put it as an extension because it is important to learn about, but again, I want us to learn about what's going on in the world as well. So that's your 5 tasks today. Bit of a researchy one, but should be good. And I don't know much about many of the other trade blocks, so I'm interested to find out what you can teach me. Well done, everyone. Good luck. I'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.